What's up guys, this is 2bucks. This is a Terraria video, the first one on this channel. Some of you might be saying, this isn't Minecraft, where's the Minecraft? Some of you might be even saying, where is Halo 3? But honestly, I just like to make videos on games that I like to play, and currently that is Terraria. So while I'm playing it, I thought I might bring some videos to you. For those of you who do play the game, this will be a helpful tutorial on how to kill the first boss that you can encounter in the game, the Eye of Cthulhu. For those of you who don't play Terraria, this video can still be pretty entertaining as it is somewhat action-packed. This video features me and my friend Matt. Keep in mind that when you're playing co-op, the game is obviously a lot easier, so I'll try to give you some tips for all of you single-player people out there as well. So before you encounter the boss, you have to first craft the material necessary to summon it, which requires 10 lenses. In order to get 10 lenses, you're going to have to kill these eyeball thingies that fly around at night. So just go onto the surface at night and go out with your bow and arrow or perhaps a hammer or sword and just kill a few eyeballs. You're going to run into some zombies as well, but you should be able to pick up 10 lenses after one night's work, especially if you're playing with other people. After you get 10 lenses, you're going to want to go underground to the demon altar. Demon altars are kind of like a crafting tool that you find in the underground parts of Terraria. They are semi-rare, but I'm guessing that by the time you're ready to face the Eye of Cthulhu boss, you will have already found one of these. If you haven't yet, then you might want to snoop around a little bit. They are especially easier to find in the corruption areas of the world. But luckily, me and Matt were able to find one quite early in the game. I think we actually found this on the first day. So you want to go up to the demon altar and press escape or whatever button you'd use to bring up the crafting stuff. And craft the suspicious looking eye, I believe it's called. After you have the suspicious looking eye that you crafted from the 10 lenses at the demon altar, you're ready to summon the Eye of Cthulhu. But before you do that, I recommend that you build a bit of a structure here on the surface to help prepare for your battle. First thing you want to do is build a large rectangle around the area that you want to fight the boss in. This is to keep any other creatures out. At night there's a lot of eyeballs and a lot of zombies that fly around, so you want to try to barricade them out of the way so you can face the Eye of Cthulhu in a bit of a more one-on-one or two-on-one battle. Next up, you want to take wood platforms and build a scaffolding thingy such as this. This is because the Eye of Cthulhu likes to fly around a lot, and when it's up in the air, you might have a hard time shooting it if you're using a melee weapon. The scaffolding allows you to jump from level to level, so you can more aggressively attack the eye. If you've already acquired the arms dealer NPC in the game, I recommend you buy a flint stock pistol, as well as get a lot of musket shells, and you might also want to stock up on some Shuriken from the merchant, which are projectile throwing stars that you can throw at the eye at very fast speed. You also want to make sure that you have a healthy supply of lesser healing potions with you, so that when the eye damages you, you can heal yourself pretty quickly. Alright, so we've summoned the Eye of Cthulhu. You want to make sure that it's nighttime and that it won't turn daytime anytime soon, because you can only summon it during the night, and if it turns daytime while you're still fighting it, it'll go away. If you're playing in a two-player situation, also known as co-op or cooperation, the best advice we can give you is that one player should focus on using a melee weapon. I'm the guy in the gold hat and I'm using the hammer right now. And the other player should use projectile weapons. As you notice, the Eye of Cthulhu isn't just a monster in itself, it also spits out little eyeball thingies that will attack you during the process of the battle. If you have a player with a melee weapon, he can easily repel the little eyeball thingies, while the player with the projectile weapon can shoot at the Eye of Cthulhu when it's out of range for the melee weapon player. For the melee weapon, a sword will do, but currently we have the breaker, which is a really awesome hammer that does a lot of damage. You might not have that yet, so just get a nice iron sword or maybe even a silver sword, and it should do the trick. As for projectile weapons, I would recommend the Shuriken or just the regular bow and arrow, but make sure you get flaming arrows because they are quite more effective than just regular arrows. The Eye of Cthulhu has 3,000 health points, and after you kill the first 1,500 health points, its mouth opens up like it's ready to give a really bloody blowjob and starts attacking you more aggressively. In this phase of the battle, it might help for both players to start using melee weapons, or you can continue going the one player melee, one player projectile method. If you're playing with 2 players, it's okay if one player dies, as long as the other player's still alive, like what happens right now, I died. The Eye of Cthulhu will still stick around as long as it has a target to focus on. So while I'm dying and respawning, my friend is basically continuing to battle him until I come back. If you're playing with just yourself, then it will be a lot more difficult. If you die at all, then the battle is over. You're going to have to get 10 new lenses and craft another suspicious looking eye. So it obviously helps a lot to have a friend. Now if you notice by the armor and the weapons we're using, we pretty much have full shadow armor as well as many Demon Knight / shadow scale weapons. For those of you who don't play Terraria, it's pretty much just really awesome stuff. If you don't have that yet, it's still possible to defeat the boss, but I would recommend that if you're playing co-op, that both of you have at least iron armor and perhaps silver or gold weapons. That is what we had when we first defeated the Eye of Cthulhu, and it worked out pretty well for us. If you're playing full-on single player, then you might even need up to silver or gold armor, but if you're pretty talented at fighting things, then you could try to go for it with iron armor. But like I said, it will be a lot more difficult, and you might find yourself failing the first few times. After you take out the Eye of Cthulhu, you will be rewarded with some Demon Knight ore, some gold, unholy arrows, as well as corruption seeds. Demon Knight ore is probably the most useful stuff out of the stuff I just listed. You can use it to craft some really awesome tools and materials. I believe you can craft the War Axe of the Night, which is one of the best axes in the game, and also a very good fighting tool immediately. The unholy arrows are pretty much just an upgraded version of arrows, and the corruption seeds you probably won't find immediately useful, as it's used to spread the corruption, which you probably don't want to do in your early stages of the game. We might make a tutorial on how to contain the corruption if you ever want to spread it in the future. Alright, and here are some random clips of us fighting the Eye of Cthulhu. This is actually the first time we fought it, and we were just kind of fooling around with different weapons. Here, Matt is trying out the musket, which is pretty effective. It does 15 damage per hit, but unlike arrows, you aren't able to retrieve bullets after you've shot them. So I would still recommend arrows, which is what he's using now. He's using the flaming arrows. It does 1 less damage per hit, but like I said, arrows are renewable, so it's a lot more effective that way. And the last clip is us using the Shuriken to throw at it, the ninja stars. The Shuriken only does 4 damage, but you can fire them off many times faster than arrows, and they might be useful for you guys who are just fighting this the first time, because your arrows will not be as effective as ours were in the game. Alright guys, thanks for watching, and I hope this tutorial was helpful for all of you. If you want to see more, feel free to tell us in the comments below. We'll try to keep these videos as informative as possible, and hopefully very fast-paced, so we can throw at you a lot of information that you won't be able to understand. And feel free to tell us what tutorials you guys want to see in the description below. If you haven't gotten the game yet, I highly recommend that you do. It's only $10, and I say only because that's often 1/6 of the price of most non-indie games, and honestly, it can provide many hours more of entertainment. I'm a guy who has been playing first-person shooters all my life, and as soon as I picked up this game, I immediately loved it, so I'm sure all of you out there will be able to enjoy this game. And if you buy it, you can play it along with me and Matt. We'll give you tutorials along the way, so it should be a fun ride.